luxury sedan, and by now you probably know it's called the Mercedes Maybach S600. Meant as a follow-up to the now discontinued Maybach brand, Mercedes-Benz is spinning itself off into different sub-brands, and it will use the Mercedes Maybach brand to market more premium versions of its products. In this case, Mercedes is calling on its 6-liter bi-turbo V12 engine to create 523 horsepower and 612 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to push the car from 0 to 62 miles an hour in a flat 5 seconds with a top speed of 155 miles an hour. Purposeful acceleration is important in a sedan with this level of exclusivity, but it's not about outright performance. At least not performance in the sense of, say, the Mercedes-AMG GT that we saw earlier this year. Instead, it gets a little bit more headroom than a standard S-Class, but 6.3 inches of additional second-row legroom, courtesy of an extended wheelbase. Mercedes-Benz intends to compete with products from Rolls-Royce and Bentley with its new sub-brand, and this car accordingly is equipped to serve. The rear compartment includes an onboard bar that comes with 2 silver champagne flutes. The second row has seats that recline and include calf supports, along with a chauffeur mode that allows the front passenger seat to slide 3 inches farther forward than it would in a normal S-Class to allow the rear seat passengers even more room to relax. Apart from being able to lean back, the rearward compartment is also available with a center console that includes 2 fold-out tables with leather inserts. The headliner, grab handles, and visors are all upholstered in Mercedes' top-of-the-line Dezino leather that would probably smell pretty expensive were it not for the pricey perfume system that periodically spritzes the cabin. And if all that isn't enough for you, Mercedes also says that this car offers the quietest cabin in the world. Shy of driving the car, or more appropriately, riding in the back seat, it's impossible to speak to the veracity of that claim, but there isn't long to wait because Mercedes Maybach says that it expects to begin delivering its cars to U.S. showrooms in April.
Car that comes out about $150,000 less than when it was last on the market. That's a pretty good haircut. That's what's going on right here. Do you recall the Maybachs from Mercedes? They were out from around 2003 to 2012. They were duds. They sold like hotcakes to someone who has gluten intolerance. Now they've brought it back as the Mercedes Maybach, a line extension of Mercedes, not a separate brand. And this one's called the S600. When I come back in another life, I want to be a Chinese billionaire. That's what this car is really aimed at, the burgeoning market, particularly in China, where signs of wealth are not just having a beautiful car, but also a car that you don't drive, you ride in the back of. And this is a serious place to ride in the back. These aren't just picnic tables. JAG's been doing those for years. These are like right out of first class on an Airbus or a Boeing jetliner. And of course, you've got a cooler behind me here, a refrigerator. 8 inches of extra car length leads to a ton of additional legroom. It may not sound like a lot, but just measure it out in front of your shins. It changes everything. Of course, lots of real materials. We've got the quilted leather going on. All 4 seats in this vehicle have hot stone massage, so even your man in the front gets a pretty good ride. And of course, these seats are reclining and articulating, have these little bespoke pillows and attached headrests. You wish you had furniture this nice at home. It arrives in this country about April or so of 2015, so it's a little too early on pricing or some of the real nitty-gritty details. But you're not going to miss one when it pulls up next to you at a stoplight.